In this video, I'm going to be doing a quick tune-up on a 2013 Toyota Camry SE. And I'm going to show you some of the things that I do during the tune-up of a car. If you are a owner of one of these and you don't want to take it to the dealership and get ripped off, I'm going to show you a couple of tips and pointers and some of the things you're going to need. Specifically the spark plug gap and all that. Now some people are saying that 0.433 is the gap, or 1.1 millimeter. And that's pretty much what I'm finding. Supposedly iridium plugs come pre-gapped, and that's what happened today. I went ahead and tested all these and they were in fact gapped properly. So if you're concerned about the gap, just when you're buying them, ask for pre-gapped iridium spark plugs. And you should be good to go. But if you drop one of these on the ground or something, it's a whole different story. And as well, we will be changing the air filter. Going to be cleaning the mass airflow sensor, doing an oil change, and that's pretty much about it for this tune-up. I'm also going to be dropping the transmission pan and changing the filter on that as well. One thing to look for on a spark plug is to be sure that you got that nice tan looking color. That tan looking color is what they say means your engine is running at optimum temperature. Now there are a lot of variables. You can read a lot about your engine from looking at the spark plugs. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of those because that's not what this video is about, but be on the lookout for that tan color. If you don't see this, if you see something else, then get on the internet and look it up, and it will tell you what's going on with your car. But these look like they're in good shape. Good old Japanese engine. I don't know why Japanese engines are so much better than Chinese engines. Another thing to keep in mind, you definitely want to use some anti-seize compound if you have hard to reach spark plugs. These ones are probably the easiest to reach I've ever seen in my life, so that's not going to be an issue. But I've worked on engines where it can take an hour to change one spark plug, especially when you got V6s with the spark plug back behind the firewall and all that, or up against the firewall. So this stuff makes it a lot easier. What happens is you have an aluminum engine block with steel, and some electrolysis takes place that corrodes those two metals. It turns into a battery, essentially. So definitely want to get this stuff. The copper is usually the best, I think. I don't know if that's colloidal copper or not. I do know that when you're using this, if it has colloidal copper in it, the torque specs are off. These can lubricate too much, so you got to be careful what you're putting on there. Be careful with the torque specs when you're lubricating threads. So when it comes to torquing, basically what I'll do is I'll just do like I'll start here and I'll give it a quarter turn. I'll come back, give it a quarter turn. We know that's a half turn. I'll come back and you give it 2/3 of a turn, and that is the torque rating right around where you want to be. They say that's right around 20 to 24 Newton meters. And it's a pretty good way of doing it. There's no point in getting a torque wrench out for something like that. So, same thing with the oil filters, ironically. I believe it's 2/3 of a turn, typically. So, there you have it. Just a quick tip. You might want to make sure you got a 5/8 magnetic socket to do this job. I believe the other one is a 14 millimeter. Which is probably what I should be using right now, but I'm not. Yeah, this is the other one I have. This is a 14 millimeter spark plug socket. They have that magnet in there, which keeps you from dropping the spark plug down in the well, which can be very problematic. You don't want to drop it and damage the gap rating. Oh yeah, that's for my car. So the 5/8 is working good on this car. So now we're to the mass airflow sensor. This little thing right here, I'm going to grab a screwdriver and pull it out of that intake line, or the intake duct, and I'm going to spray it off real good with some mass airflow sensor cleaner. And this stuff is not cheap. It's like $7 a can, but it's worth it. I swear you will feel a difference in the gas pedal when you do this to your car. And you gotta be kind of careful that you don't drop a screw down in your engine. If you do that, it's over. And I've done that many times. Things are going so well, and then you drop a screw and you can't get it, not even with a magnet. So you really want to douse this thing up. Everywhere it's got all those little wires and stuff. Let me show you what we got here. Even though there's an air filter on this, doesn't mean, you know, that it's not getting dirt in there. You see those delicate little wires and things? Can't really see inside of that one much. But the way these things work is a wire gets heated almost red hot. And the more air that's blowing over it, the cooler that wire will get. And the resistance will decrease. That's how the engine monitors your airflow. So we're just going to spray the heck out of that thing. You want to get right up inside of there and everything. And really blast it. Don't be afraid to make a mess, because the pressure is part of what's cleaning that. Now, I just sprayed a lot of that in there, so I'm going to let that set until that all evaporates. You don't want to start your car with all that crap in there. It won't hurt it. I've done it before, but I like to let it evaporate for a minute before I put that back on. I'm going to go ahead and change the air filter on this too, but just wanted to show you that. You definitely should do that every oil change, in my opinion.